Very watchable now, and he gets you excited for a game.
Yeah. You also wonder why no one else was fighting them for Fernandes. I mean, it looks like the whole of Europe should have been after him.
Yeah, it makes you do question a little bit, because when you look at his numbers, you say, okay, it's the Portuguese league, and then you watch him play, even on the short little bits, and you think that's a player, that's a proper player. Some little touches around the corner, outside of the foot. He looks incredibly good value already.
Brilliant. This evening, and this is how things are looking in the Europa League now. Rangers went through last night up against Brugge. Congratulations to Wolves. They may have lost tonight, but it doesn't matter because they still make it through. You can see the rest of the scores there. Plenty of other football matches though happening this evening, including the one that we've brought you here, but also some key score lines. Look at that, still going on right now. If you want to tune across to BT Sport 3, you can see Arsenal against Olympiacos. Olympiacos with the away goal, with the 1-goal lead there, which means it's 1-1 on aggregate. So at the moment, that one is heading towards penalties. Real heartbreak for Celtic this evening. They scored late on to equalise. It looked like it was going to go to extra time as well. And then straight away, bang, bang, 2 goals from Copenhagen has knocked them out. Inter went through 4-1 tonight on aggregate. And look at that for Manchester United. 5-0 against Brugge. It's been a long time since they've scored that many goals in European competition. And the reason for those this evening, 11 in Nigeria. I think they'll be celebrating this evening and that goal from him for quite a while still to come. You kind of got a heart of stone if you don't watch him this evening, arriving here at 30 years old, having loved this club since he was a young boy, finally scoring for them. That was a nice moment.
Yeah, it was a brilliant one. He did well tonight. He looked sharp. We said before the game, I don't think he played since December the 1st, did we say? So, yeah, he looked sharp. He was good. And do you know what? He's come to this team probably at the right time, just as a really creative player has come into the team in Fernandes. And if United need to rely on him for the rest of the season, then I think he'll do a good job. He'll only get stronger, and he will get chances created for him as long as Fernandes is in the team. Yeah,
I like the fact that he gives them a reference point. You know, I think Martial and Rashford, they're all, you know, they're players that want to run at defenders. I think IGHALO, he's really comfortable with his back to the defender, which is a different skill. And I think at times he did that really well today. And they had so many bodies, you know, up in and around him. Mata was in there, Bruno Fernandes was in there, McTominay was in there, Fred was in there. And I think we'll see more goals from Manchester United to finish the season.
Let's talk about Man United generally. You know, you do a lot of games for us. We tend to use you mainly for Man U games, and we often say we feel for you because you took up this job to talk about Man U at a time when Man U struggled. But, you know, we sit here tonight. They're on their longest unbeaten run since Ole got the job. You were on your phone looking at stats about clean sheets. Only PSG of the top 5 leagues in Europe have registered more clean sheets than Man United this season. Their record in this competition is played for, won for, 13 goals scored, none conceded here at Old Trafford this season. How do you look at Man United generally at the moment?
Still a work in progress, I'd say. I think you'd always judge them on the league position, which for the last few months hasn't been good enough. We know that.
They're currently in the Champions League spots, though.
Are they fourth?
They're fifth, which at the moment gives you the Champions League.
Does it? I thought it was fourth, right. No,
which is City.
Yeah, of course, yeah. Which is good, and it's where you expect them to be. You don't expect them to be fifth, of course you don't. You expect them to challenge for the league title, but the way things have been the last couple of years, it's been a rebuilding job for Ole. There's no doubt about that. And I think now we're starting to see signs. Ole's signed, 4 players? Maybe 5 with the IGHALO loaning. And I think all 4 of them have been really good. So I think the future's bright. There's some really good play tonight, especially that first 20 minutes it was lively, and sometimes when you bring a player as good as Fernandes, it livens everybody up. All of a sudden, everyone's giving that extra 5%. They want to impress the new player, and it's so unusual that a player from coming from a different country usually takes a little bit of time to settle down, but from the minute he started, he just looked a real player right from the off, and hopefully the signs are good and he stays in this type of form to the end of the season. They can get in that top 4, which you have to say that the favourites for. Looking at them now with this one player coming into the team, you'd have to fancy him. Chelsea had the problems, Tottenham had the problems, and it's something to build on for next year.
Yeah, I think if Ole can win a title, whatever it is, the FA Cup or the Europa League, if they can finish in the top 4, win one of those, he's had an exceptional season. And I think he's building. Scholes, he's right. Its trajectory is one way. I think the signs have been good. They just need to get the goals up. Defensively, you said that clean sheets, up there with PSG, one of the best teams in Europe. So if they can get the attacking play, which looks like it's been addressed with Bruno Fernandes, plus a natural number 9, whether that's going to be Martial or Rashford or whoever it's going to be, they look good, Manchester
But
United.
you mentioned rebuilding, you used the word building. You feel this is a club that is building or rebuilding or going in the right direction, not kind of aimlessly heading somewhere but we don't know where. You can see building blocks.
Well, but if you look at you're right, building blocks. You got De Gea, you got Maguire, you got a settled back 4 or 5, whatever it's going to be. The midfield has improved all of a sudden. McTominay's back in there. Pogba, that whole situation. Is he going to play or is he not? If not, can you get quality players in for him? Rashford, Martial, some really good players. Mason Greenwood's a star. Bruno Fernandes. So I think there's so many things to be excited about. And it's great to be able to come here for us and be excited to watch Bruno Fernandes and all these players take part, because there's some great players in there, and Oldie will try and get them back to what he used to, what Scholes was used to, and I think it's going to come. It might take time to catch City and Liverpool, but it'll come, I'm sure of that.
Should we talk about Bruno?
Why not?
Why not? What do you like about him?
Everything so far. Creativity, as we said. His awareness on the pitch. I think that's you think of Cantona's and your Wayne Rooney's, these people who are idolised by the fans. You hope that in future he can become a player just as good as them.
Scholes is right. The one word is awareness. His awareness on a football pitch is special, and I think that's what's going to make him. He gets in good positions because he has a good feel for the game. I thought that was Scholes' greatest attribute. He kind of knew what was going to happen before it happened, almost like a chess. And I'm not saying Bruno has that, because there'll never be another Paul Scholes, but to think like that, to have ideas like that.
Are you getting the message tonight that he was quite a big fan of Paul's?
He was the best Scholes.
Yeah. No, Owen's right. Awareness was drummed into me. Awareness, but Eric Harrison all the time. Always know where you are, especially in that position.
What did he used to say?
Be aware where you're on the football field. Have awareness.
There's genius coaching
no,
for
honestly,
you.
In that position where you're number 10, number 8, well, all your numbers you give, I don't care about all the numbers. But when you're playing a player in his position, you need to know where everybody's on the pitch. And he's got that. He's got everything sorted before the ball gets to him, and it makes everything quicker. It's difficult to defend against.
I know you say you don't care about numbers, but do you want to see him in a really sort of offensive position like a number 10 behind the strikers, or do you want him further back with everyone in front of him? He can spot the runs, he can play the passes.
Jake, it doesn't matter. If you watch the way De Bruyne plays, he played as a false 9 the other day.
Yeah.
The point is, the great players find space like he did, like De Bruyne does, and Bruno did that today. He'll drift everywhere and he'll find space because that's what the good ones do. And because he's that good, even if it's tight, he'll get on the half-turn and he'll be ready. So he's an 8, he's a 10, whatever he is, he's effective, and that's the most important thing.
And he linked up well tonight with Juan Mata. We saw Jesse come on and look good. We saw a goal from McTominay, 2 goals from Fred. Is this all a coincidence, or is this when a player comes in, not only does he lift those around him on the football field, but actually, because football's a ruthless business, he puts a bit of pressure on them to be better footballers because he's there playing well?
Do you know what? Sometimes it can just take one player to make a team click. And he looks like that player. We knew there were good players there, but they wasn't brilliant players. And I think this player will make these players around him look better. You think of all the great teams. You look at City last 8 or 9 years with David Silva. He's made them play football. He makes good players around him. He feeds them, and he just makes a team take. De Bruyne is taking that mantle over now with City. You think of all the great teams here when you think of Cantona and playing in that number 10 role, just making a team play. Terry Sheringham then doing it. Dwight York to a certain degree as well. I think all these teams, all these great teams, they have a great link between the midfield and attack. And look, it's early days. You don't want to get too carried away. It's Brugge at home, and it was.
I think we are sufficiently getting carried away.
Yeah, well, we need to, because the places we've been, and he just looks that type of player to me who can knit a full attack of a team together. The most important thing, he knows where everybody is. Before that ball comes to him, he knows what's happening. He knows what's around him. He knows what the right passes to do, and more often than not, he makes the right passes. He's got goals in him. He starts his numbers, whatever they are. Last couple of years, a sensation. You just wonder why nobody else is coming for him, or why we didn't get him in the summer. But you just see he looks like he's got a goal in him. Now we talk about is he a number 8 or number 10? I mean, I try to think of a player who reminds you of, and I think the only thing I can think of is De Bruyne, really, and that's high praise, because De Bruyne, for me, is the best player in the Premier League, the best midfield player in the Premier League, and he looks to me like he's up to that standard. And if United can get, I think they've got good players around him already, don't get me wrong, but it can just step that level up a little bit. I don't think they're far off.
he could have set up 4 or 5 goals today.
Yeah.
If the final touch from whoever it was would have been better. I think that's how good this guy is. He takes tons of shots from the edge of the box. He's a good finisher, but his final ball, like De Bruyne, is very good. And that's why he scores goals and sets so many up. And I think they've got a really special one here. And I think Scholes is right. That's high praise, De Bruyne, but it almost looks like that's the trajectory for him.
We have to be careful not to get too carried away as well. You don't want to put a dampener on it.
Yeah.
But no,
That's what we do in this country, Paul.
yeah,
You know the way it works.
I'm afraid so, yeah. But, you know, he's played against Chelsea, a good team. Got a good win there. But these games, he's influenced massively now. You go to Everton on Sunday, it's a tough game, always a tough game, Everton, tough place to go. Can he have the same influence? City the week after, can he have the same influence? And I don't see, his temperament looks fine, it looks like he can handle a big occasion. I love that goal, what a goal that is from McTominay. Just sets it out of the post, brings it back in. Great goal, but no, he looks a special talent. And he looks like he can be a hero of the fans as well. You know, he's got the right name for it with the song and stuff, but you know,